Sometimes being patient feels like punishment, watching others win with shortcuts while you suffer for doing the right thing. But what if the pain is part of your preparation? What if the silence is building your strength? This is the story of a young man who stayed clean when the streets got dirty, and in the end, became everything they said he couldn't be. Tunde was born in Ikorodu, Lagos, the kind of place where dreams grew like weeds between cracked concrete, only to be stepped on by reality. He was the first son in a house where silence meant hunger, and laughter was a luxury they couldn't afford. His father had once been a mechanic with big dreams, until alcohol and debt dragged him into the mud. By the time Tunde was 12, the man disappeared, leaving his mother to carry a family of 5 on her back. She became both mother and father, waking up before dawn to fry akara by the roadside, just to send her children to school with something in their stomachs. Tunde was different, quiet, observant. He didn't talk much, but his eyes carried weight, the kind that only boys forced to become men too early could carry. He was 20 now, and broke, not just in his wallet, in his spirit. The one-room apartment they lived in smelled of kerosene and damp clothes. The walls were faded, peeling like old secrets. At night, Tunde lay on a worn mattress beside his 2 younger siblings, pretending to sleep while thoughts screamed in his head. He had a diploma in computer networking, applied to over 100 jobs and gotten only silence or rejection. His friends, boys he had grown up with, had found another way out: internet fraud. They started wearing fake gold chains, clubbing every weekend, and posting dollar bills on Snapchat. "Guys, shine your eye. This life no dey pity anybody," they'd say. But Tunde always replied with silence. He wasn't trying to be a saint. He just wanted peace, the kind that didn't come with fear or blood money. So he hustled. He sold secondhand phone cases in traffic. He helped an old vulcanizer patch tires for daily pay. He used his tiny techno phone to take free online courses at night. Anything to feel like he wasn't wasting away. Sometimes the pain made him cry in silence. Sometimes he wished he was weaker, just enough to give up like the others. But every morning he woke up. He tried again. Not because he believed in miracles, but because he refused to let poverty write his ending. He met her on a random Wednesday, the kind of day nothing ever happened. Comfort was her name. Light-skinned, soft-voiced, and sharp-tongued. She had the kind of presence that turned bus stops into movie scenes. Tunde was selling phone cases in front of Ikorodu Garage when she walked past. He offered her a discount. She offered him a smile. That smile would later cost him peace. They started talking, first as strangers, then as something. Comfort liked how humble he was. She told him he was different, real. She said the guys she dated only cared about money, and she wanted someone with sense. For the first time in years, Tunde allowed his walls to drop. She'd call at midnight and ask deep questions. "Do you think pain changes us forever?" She made him feel like his struggles mattered, like someone saw the boy behind the burden. He started texting her first thing in the morning, last thing at night. When he made 1,500 naira in a day, he saved 1,000 naira and used 500 naira to buy her a meat pie and malt. She laughed and kissed him on the cheek. He felt like he was winning, even if life was still losing. But Comfort wanted more. She never said it directly, but her eyes did. The eyes that lingered too long on other boys with flashy clothes. The sighs when he told her he couldn't afford date night. The passive jabs. "My ex used to take me to Radisson. Babe, can't you do something fast? Everyone's cashing out. You're too smart to be this broke." Tunde tried to brush it off. He thought love was about patience. But the more she compared, the smaller he felt. He began to question his worth. He started calculating how long it would take to save 5,000 naira just to make her happy, forgetting that he hadn't bought new slippers in 3 months. Then one day, just like that, she ghosted him. No message, no explanation. He called, nothing. Then a friend sent him a screenshot. Comfort was now dating one of the Yahoo boys in Lekki, a guy who posted his wristwatch more than his face. Tunde stared at the image for hours, feeling something inside him split. It wasn't just heartbreak, it was humiliation. He had opened up, lowered his guard, loved with nothing but sincerity, and still lost. That night, he didn't cry. He sat outside his house in the dark, listening to mosquitoes buzz around his head and whispered to himself, "This can't be my story." That was the night Tunde stopped chasing people and started chasing purpose. After comfort left, Tunde did what most men do when their hearts break. He disappeared into silence. He stopped replying to group chats, stopped picking up calls from the boys, and stopped caring about who was flexing on Instagram. His world shrunk to three things: survival, reflection, and becoming someone he could live with. But silence didn't mean peace. Every day, life tested him. Friends he grew up with were now bawling. Yusuf bought a Toyota Corolla. Daniel started wearing 250,000 Naira sneakers. Even Julius, who used to beg him for rice in secondary school, was now flying to Ghana for business. Tunde knew the truth behind it all: fraud. He watched them enter clubs like Kings and step out with girls who laughed too loud and drank too fast. Their Instagram stories were filled with soft life, hotel beds, iPhones, champagne, and coded captions like, "If you know, you know." They invited him in. "Guy, why are you dulling yourself? This clean hand no day pay. Hustle day, come learn small runs." Ope even showed him how easy it was. Just sweet talk a white girl. Tell him say you love her. Once she believe, you cash out. Easy money, no stress. Tunde listened quietly, nodding but never agreeing. Inside him, a battle raged. Hunger versus principle, pain versus patience. Sometimes he nearly gave in. Sometimes he stared at his mother asleep on the floor and wondered if she'd forgive him for choosing fraud just to buy her a bed. But something held him back. A quiet voice, a stubborn pride, a fear of becoming the kind of man who sleeps with one eye open. So instead of fraud, he poured his pain into growth. He borrowed a small Android phone from his cousin and used it to study. He watched YouTube videos on graphic design. He took free digital marketing courses. At night, when the neighborhood generator hummed, he practiced editing designs on Canva, using the cracked screen like it was a MacBook. He created a portfolio, made a simple Instagram page, offered free designs to people just to build credibility. He even helped a church in the area rebrand their flyers for free. Word started spreading. No big money came yet, but people started calling him creative. One woman paid him 2,000 Naira for a birthday flyer. Another gave him 5,000 Naira to design a business logo. Small drops, but they filled a cup. Meanwhile, the boys who once flexed began to fall. One was arrested, another got duped by his own connect. The same girl who left Tunde for fast money blocked the fraudster when EFCC raided his apartment. Tunde saw it all, but said nothing. He had chosen the longer road, dirtier, lonelier, but real. And deep down, he knew something was changing. Not the world around him, but the man within. Tunde wasn't rich, not yet, but there was a new calm in the way he walked, a quiet confidence in his posture. He still wore the same black slippers with a tear at the side, but now he wore them like someone on a mission. Not a victim. His days were full now. Mornings were for hustling, afternoons for learning, nights for designing. His Instagram page, once empty, now held clean designs that looked like they were made on a laptop, not a cracked Infinix phone. He started getting referrals from church people, from friends who respected his consistency, from strangers who liked how he told stories through pictures. One day he got a DM from a Lagos-based hair vendor. "Hi, I love your work. Can you design 10 flyers for my upcoming promo?" Budget is 30,000 Naira. Tunde stared at the message like it was a mistake. That was more money than he had made in any month of his life. He didn't sleep that night. He watched design tutorials back to back to make sure his work would be perfect. He delivered in 48 hours. The client was impressed. She tagged him in her story. More DMS came. Slowly, his phone became his studio. The same phone he once used to beg for jobs became the tool that started feeding his family. He upgraded his mindset too. He started waking up early, journaling his goals, reading books on discipline and purpose. He watched motivational speakers, not for hype, but for direction. The pain had changed him, and now the growth was changing him even more. His mother noticed it first. "You dey shine these days," she said one evening, handing him a plate of rice. Tunde smiled. He hadn't eaten rice with meat in weeks. It felt like a celebration. But it wasn't about the food, it was about being a provider again. about being useful, about becoming. He didn't forget the people who laughed at him, or the girl who said he wasn't enough, or the friends who mocked his clean hustle. But he didn't carry bitterness, just fuel. He even ran into Comfort one day at a POS stand. She looked shocked, not just at how he looked, but how he carried himself. He greeted her calmly, politely, like a ghost from a past he had already buried. She asked what he was doing now. I run my own small brand. She nodded slowly. Wow, you always had potential, Shaw. He smiled. Thanks, I just needed pain to unlock it. That night, Tunde sat on his mother's veranda, watching the stars blink over the dusty Lagos sky. For once, he didn't feel poor. He didn't feel like the guy who got left behind. He felt like a man building something, not just a career, but a life, brick by brick. The call came on a quiet Tuesday morning. One of those days that felt ordinary but turned out historic. It was from a media agency in Lekki. Hi Tunde, we saw your Instagram work. We're building a new creative team and we'd love to work with you. Are you open to a remote contract role? Starting pay is 120,000 naira monthly? He stared at the screen for a full minute, then blinked, then laughed. Not because it was funny, but because for years life had only offered him rejection. And now it was offering him the one thing he fought so hard to earn, a chance. He said yes, calmly. But after the call ended, he fell to his knees and wept. The kind of deep cry that comes when a man carries joy and scars in the same heart. He remembered the days of empty pots, the sting of Comfort's goodbye, the nights he whispered to himself, just one more day, don't quit. And now here he was, a boy from Ikorodu, designing for a company in Lekki, earning clean money, sleeping with peace. Things changed fast after that. He bought a small laptop, not a MacBook, just a used HP, but it felt like a mansion in his hands. He no longer borrowed phones. He upgraded his wardrobe, not with Gucci, but with dignity. He paid for his younger sister's WAEC fees. He replaced his mother's broken fan. One day he even surprised her with a 10,000 naira gift. She cried, holding the money like gold. You're becoming a man, Tunde, she whispered. But the success didn't make him arrogant. It made him grateful. He started sharing his story online. Not the filtered version, but the truth. The hunger, the heartbreak, the hustle. People connected with it. Young boys messaged him, Bros, how did you stay clean? How did you not give up? I'd go through same thing now. And he replied every one of them. Not with pride, but with purpose. Because he knew what it meant to feel alone, to feel unseen, to feel like success was reserved for other people. One Sunday afternoon, while sipping Zobo under a mango tree, his old friend Yusuf walked by, the one who used to mock his clean hustle, the one who once posted fake dollars online. Yusuf looked tired, burned out, paranoid. He barely said a full sentence before rushing off. Tunde just smiled. Life had taught him what many never learn. Fast money fades, but purpose grows roots. He wasn't rich yet, but he was free. And that freedom was worth more than any Benz. He sat on that wooden bench, laptop on his lap, designing another flyer for a new client in Canada. His story had started with pain, but it wouldn't end there. He was no longer the boy who begged for help. He had become the man he once dreamed to be, and the journey was just beginning. He was no longer the boy who begged for help. He had become the man he once dreamed to be. And through it all, the hunger, the heartbreak, the rejection, he stayed true. He saw girls come and go, some beautiful, some dangerous, but he didn't let love distract him. While his friends chased bodies and fast pleasure, he chased peace and purpose. They mocked his discipline. Now they admire his focus. He chose the hard road and it led him home, not to riches but to respect, not just from others, but finally from himself. In the end, Tunde proved that patience and faith can outlast shortcuts. He did not become the richest in the room, but he became the freest in his heart. The same streets that once mocked him now respect his name, and the same struggles that nearly broke him became the testimony that built him. He may not have had luxury cars or fake promises to show, but he carried something greater: peace, dignity, in a story that inspires others to rise above temptation. Tunde's journey was proof. Clean hands can still build a great future.